it's a problem because we spend time giving out. Mm-hmm. We spend time reaching and managing and doing in the whole bit, and we tend to neglect ourselves, which is why it's good to have somebody with you or around you who actually cares about you mm-hmm. and not your ministry, if that makes any sense.
That's one way to put it.
Okay. How would you put it?
It's always good to have someone around.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we tend to be one in the same if we're doing it to the glory and honor of God. We're always about ministry, and the ministry itself can become overwhelming and can take a taxing toll. So that's part of the reason why when we see Paul, he's got Barnabas, he's got Timothy, he's calling for Luke. He's reaching out because we get depleted. We can overwork ourselves. We're human, so the same ailments and illnesses and sicknesses and diseases that are common to man are common to us. We're not superhuman.
Okay. Good morning. We have callers on the air. Good morning.
Good morning. It's Mrs. Nussbaum.
Miss Nussbaum, will you tell Dan to get himself on the mic? You are not. We like you, but we are not. No.
I'm so much prettier than Dan is.
You are 6'3". You weigh somewhere between 250 and 275. Pretty is not going to be. There is no way pretty is.
That's just what I put on the dating app.
No.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Sound Travels is pleased to present to some and introduce to others my brother from another mother. He's 6'3". He's whiter than Casper's ghost. He is Miss Nussbaum.
How are you doing?
Wait a second now.
I missed you all week.
I see that. We have another caller?
Morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Sound Travels is pleased to present to some and introduce to others the heart of Sound Travels, nearer, my God, to thee, Chaplain Nera.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Ably assisted by the wolf.
Good morning.
Why is it that your voice changes so when you're introducing Chaplain Nera than you do when you're introducing Brother Dan?
Yeah.
Because
I was wondering that myself.
We'll be right back after this station identification.
Good morning, family. How you all doing?
Good morning. I knew that I wouldn't be alone once Bishop showed up again. Thanks for coming to my rescue. Dan's been awfully mean to me. Dan's been so mean to me.
Oh, well, look at it this way. You're getting what you deserve.
That's what brothers do, isn't it?
Yeah, you're getting what you deserve, but Bishop has done nothing.
I've done something you just don't know about it.
He just got smart and did it without you knowing.
He just did it. Yeah, he did it when nobody else could see. But God saw. God was watching.
Yes.
That's
my
right.
goodness. It is.
That's right.
And it's amazing. We sit here so piously like, well, God sees everything we do. And then we sit and quietly we're thinking, oh, my God, God sees everything I did.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we have the audacity to pray for justice.
No.
Don't want that.
No.
Yeah, justice
like
for
praying for
thee
patience.
and
That's
not for
dangerous.
me.
Yeah, no. I'm praying for mercy because
That's right.
the last thing I want is justice. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
I am constantly at the mercy seat.
Yes.
I don't want the judgment.
I
No.
do not want justice. Nope.
That's right.
We started off, some of you heard beginning, we have two topics. One of them, of course, we've been dealing with what the church can do to get itself back into a position of authority. But right now we're dealing with something else because I've been having some issues, and we put stuff out there, and I'm hesitant to put this out only because people may try to twist it and turn it. But when it comes to anxiety and the pressures of the calling, we don't want to go to the doctors at every point in turn, but we'll tell other people in a heartbeat, you need to go to a doctor. We don't want to deal with our own emotional stuff because we're not supposed to have it. You claim you have a relationship with God. You claim that, the Holy Spirit works with you and speaks to you. You're able to minister to other people with the Spirit. Physician, heal thyself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they don't teach you in pastor school the fact that bearing one another's burdens is a one-way trip when you're a pastor. That's not a mutual thing. You can't just listen. My pastor Ted, who's on every now and again, he's come to me and asked me to pray for him for health. That's great. I pray for his health, or pray for another situation in the church or in the body. But to pray for him specifically about a struggle, that can get into dangerous water for a pastor. And I'm speaking on behalf of my late brother, who was a pastor for almost 60 years. There was a lot of things that we had to deal with as brothers because he couldn't talk to anyone in his church, and oftentimes he couldn't talk to other people in his organization because information can wind up getting used against you. You got to use wisdom with that, and it's churches can be kind of like a kind of like voters in that as a leader, your future is at the mercy of the most unskilled, untrained, ignorant people on the planet. and they're the boss.
Nira?
Well, so I see it a little bit differently, and I think it has something to do with the generation that Wolf and I come from. Because our generation, each generation has its own pitfalls and its pros and cons. And it's based on what we saw from our parents and our grandparents and so forth. And so the thing about different generations is each one tries to fix what they saw as being wrong in the one before and the one before that. Because that's all we really have to go on. And so for me, being a pastor's child, I saw ministry chew my father up and spit him out on multiple occasions. And that was spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically. And so for me, growing up in that, I'm always the one looking for, okay, who is shepherding the shepherds? Who is helping the helpers. Like, I always look for the ones ministering to those ministering to others. And so I'm always looking for that. And if no one else is doing it, I will be that person because I know it's so necessary. Because you can't do it by yourself. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at Moses. Look at Paul. Look at Peter. Look at the disciples. God sent them out 2 by 2. Not because one of them couldn't do it by themselves, but because they needed each other. Mm-hmm. And so I see it as we absolutely need to do those things. Because growing up, if you weren't dying, you weren't going to the doctor. And, it was one of those things of you'd see people go, oh, yeah, and I see this doctor, and, they'd whisper under their breath, and I see a therapist. That was always a hush-hush, you don't do that. Well, now, my generation and younger generations, it's, oh, yeah, you want to hear what my therapist told me this week? Like, it's just kind of this natural part of life of, yeah, you've got your primary care, you may have a specialist, depending on if there's, something medically more complex with you, and you have a therapist. It's just kind of a given nowadays. And so we're not embarrassed about it. Like, we talk very freely about it. So I think it's one of those generational things because my former pastor had a therapist and also had a group of pastors in the local area that would get together and talk about stuff like that. And that was just very normal. That wasn't anything to be ashamed about. So I think part of it is a generational difference on top of it is seen as, well, you're the pastor, you shouldn't need anybody. And there's still that mindset, but I think that that's changing very quickly in people 40 and below.
Wolf?
Yeah.
Oh, brother, last couple of weeks, I have actually been looking into the idea of reputation in the modern church. I find it highly interesting that whenever you look into what kind of reputation Jesus had with people while he was alive, you'll get rabbi, you'll get prophet, but a large chunk of the religious community called him a drunkard, a whoremonger, a friend of sinners, because that is who he chose to spend his time with. That is who he chose to reach out to, which is twofold, because number one, think about that, it was easier and better and more worthwhile for him to go to them than the religious people. That's number one. That's a side note. But God, it's so hard. Oh, it's so hard to say. If we do not have that kind of reputation, are we really going after the lost? If we don't have the kind of reputation problems with the general public or over religious people that Jesus did, are we really following in his footsteps? And the fact that instead of our reputation within the church being about knowing each other, bearing each other's burdens, loving each other so that the world can see Christ in us, we're the ones who expect each other to be the most perfect. We praise people whose sins are more well hidden. Not that they're not there, but we praise people for hiding their sins better.
Wow.
Good morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are out here. We're in it now.
This is a two-pronged approach this morning.
Yeah.
Okay. One, the reputation that we have or will acquire needs to be based out of our relationship with God and who he is in our life. Now, does that mean that one will be in the company of sinners? We should be. If we're doing what Jesus did, we will be. while at the same time, those same individuals get an opportunity to see us at our weakest and lowest points. And when they see us in that light, then it's, well, how can you give me counsel? How can you pray for me? And you've got these issues yourself.
Well, go ahead. The answer is, I know I can pray for you because somebody's praying for me.
Amen.
This may come as a big shock to people, but I'm not one that likes to feel limited. Okay.
Say it ain't so.
Yeah. I'm not comfortable with my own mortality.
I wonder where that comes from.
It's just, it is what it is. If you ask me if I can do something, I've said yes before I heard what it is. Mm-hmm. And that's a problem, because it's not that whether can I do something, it's often should I do something. A perfect example, and I'm going to tell on myself, driving home yesterday on the expressway, I saw a pink hat.
Okay.
I don't know how it got there. It was over in the breakdown lane. I don't know how it got there. I saw a pink hat. And I thought to myself, I've got to have that hat.
Okay.
Damn.
I've got to have that hat. I'm thinking to myself, I can take that hat, I can spray paint it purple, and it'll go with my purple outfit, my purple suit. Now, what? Bishop is looking at me like...
And if you could see the way I was looking at you.
You want to... Okay. The pink hat has to become the purple hat.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
So, genius, this is on the expressway, headed home, just outside of rush hour. It was about 3 o'clock. So I'm gonna go pick up my wife. So it's about 3 o'clock. Genius decides he's gonna pull his truck over to the breakdown lane and put on his flashers and back up and get this hat. Now, don't anybody say what's wrong with that.
No, I wasn't going there.
Genius.
Not even close.
Genius. Him.
Two scenarios for you.
Uh-huh.
Man's on the top of the Empire State Building.
Uh-huh.
He can jump.
Yeah.
But should he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The second part of that is this. Man's at the top of the Empire State Building. And he decides to jump. And while he's going down, people at each floor hear him yelling, "So far, so good."
Yeah. Yeah. Now.
So far, so good.
Yeah. So God, in his infinite wisdom, patience, and justice, sent a state police officer.
So far, so good.
Saved your life. Yeah.
Who sees, a vehicle in a breakdown lane with the flashers on and the reverse lights on. I see the state trooper, lights flashing. I immediately take it out of reverse, put it into park. He pulls up behind me, gets out, comes to the passenger side because he's not stupid. Mm-hmm. Sir, is everything okay?
Are you on your medication today?
This is a time when honesty is your only refuge.
That was beautifully said.
I said, "Sir, I understand that you have just caught me doing something monumentally stupid." And he said, "What might that be?" And I said, did you see the pink hat back there that you drove by? And he looked at me. He almost got on his radio. He looked at me. He said, the bottom line is, I didn't get a ticket. I didn't get a warning. But I got sufficiently.
Did you get the pink hat?
I did not get the pink hat.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. He offered to go back and get the pink hat if he saw it. That's how good of a state trooper he was.
Yeah. They're out there.
Yeah. He offered to go back and get the pink hat, but it was too far. He didn't see it. So, but he did admonish me sufficiently not to do that again. Basically, it was, if he could have said it, he would have. Ever in life, as long as my behind is dark and pointing to the ground. So the point of this whole story is we have these moments. The pink hat made perfect sense. In hindsight,
you chased that pink hat like you chase squirrels.
Interesting. I want everybody to say thank you for Bishop Hamby. He's been a great partner. This is his last day.
I mean, any conversation that I've had with you throughout the years, at some point in time or another, there's a squirrel.
Yeah.
There he goes.
Yeah.
It'll get your attention. And even in personal life, you're bouncing around.
Yeah. And it's become more of an issue these days.
Yeah.
Because numerous times, this Saturday we're setting up at Keystone again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're available. I hope you are in the morning. Okay. You'll say, Dan, slow down. Dan, focus. Dan.
You're good at what you do. You're excellent at what you do. But it can get in the way at the same time.
Yeah.
With pastoring, there are multiple things going on at the same time, and we have to decide what is most important. We have to prioritize what to address first, and how much attention that thing needs. If we are dealing with something of importance, and then something just pops up like a Pikachu, and we go chasing after it, it's not a good practice.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's gotten worse.
Why?
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, were you at a church yesterday?
Was I at a church yesterday?
Yes.
I was in a church yesterday. How can I? You're on the air.
And what did you see? Goodbye.
We crank call.
I'm through.
We've lost the bishop again.
I'm through.
It's not a good show unless we find some way to.
I'm trying to get through a complete segment without. Oh boy. What is he?
Oh my
man.
goodness. So but this is a serious thing. This is a very serious thing. When we read the Bible, there's a lot of information in it and a lot of detail, or there's no detail. This happened, that happened, this was said, that was said. Or while this is happening, this other thing is happening.
You know what? Something just came to my mind. When it comes to the healing and the need for healing, the need for prayer for a pastor. It's like this: the pastor becomes the boy child in the family, and the church is, or the congregation is, the girl child. The girl child falls, scrapes her knee. Oh, is it okay? Let me rub something.
Yeah,
on
let me kiss it and make it better. Something.
Yeah. The boy child falls, scrapes his knee. Oh, get up off of the ground. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
There's no blood. You're okay.
Yeah.
Nothing's broken. You're okay.
Yeah.
And that's
Buck up. Yes.
Yeah. That's the way pastors get treated. That's the way church leaders get treated. And it's not fair, because the boy child needs as much love and nurture and attention as the girl child does.
But it's not.
That's right.
It's not manly.
Doesn't have to be.
You know. So this also.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. You know why? Because at the end of the day, in the middle of the day, and at the beginning of the day, we're all human. And we have human needs. We seem to want to make the pastor, the church leader, the church elder, a super Christian. And they're not.
No.
They bleed just like you do. They hurt just like you do. We get old and die just like everyone else does. And just in case you didn't know, we fight and wrestle with the same sinful desires of the flesh like everybody else.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
But we're supposed to pretend like we don't.
Yes. Oh, of course. And this
Why? Why do we have to pretend?
because the Christian church is the most judgmental, the least sympathetic, and the most ungracious set of people on the face of God's green earth.
And that's why we need to be transparent instead of being pretentious. For that very reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unto you Pharisees, hypocrites, you wash the outside of the cup and the inside is still full of rot.
Dry bones. Sepulchres. Dry bones.
And that's just me.
A grave.
A grave. Yeah.
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 Rotting flesh like everybody else.
Yeah. And the Christian army travels light. Why? It takes no prisoners.
No, and it tends to eat its wounded.
And it, well, that part too.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know how many pastors have confided in me, Brother Dan, I'm only calling you because I can't call anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sick, I'm hurting, I'm in desperate need, but if the deacon board finds out that I'm weak, isn't it your yes, these are my deacon board. I've personally trained all of them. They're mine. But if they find out that I am weak, is it a deacon board or is it a criminal organization? Because in a criminal
not only might you be weak, you might be unemployed, and depending on how they work it, you could be homeless.
Yeah. The last major attack that happened at New Bethel happened while I was grieving my mother. You remember that one?
Yeah, I remember.
And it would and it would never, the person who tried it never would have tried it if my mother was still alive. Never would have tried it. But once I was in the grief process with my mother, that's when they launched their attack. And this was supposedly another Christian. And more importantly, a higher office, a bishop.
Not me.
Not you. No, not you.
Let's clarify. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me. Just tell them it wasn't you. It wasn't me. Yeah. For you song people out there.
Yeah.
as pastors, we have to teach our congregates that we are not super Christians. We're every time we set ourselves up to be this extraordinary Jesus Junior person, we're setting ourselves up for that kind of a fall.
Yeah. And it's interesting because as we're driving in this morning to the radio station, we get a perfect example of a pastor. You know what he was doing? He wasn't praying. He wasn't kneeling. He wasn't reaching out to God. He wasn't walking through the yard, anointing every bush. He was sweeping the leaves up in the parking lot of his church.
Yeah. That's a servant's heart.
That's a servant's heart. You can't teach that. You can't preach that. You can't license, certify, anoint, title, diploma, degree that. It's either there or it's not.
Well, that is something that's teachable. It is something that's teachable.
You think?
Oh, yeah. Oh, without doubt. My approach to ministry is based specifically out of what I saw my pastor, my father doing, because I'm a PK as well, my whole life, and what I saw his pastor doing for many years. I've been fortunate to be around some true pastors,
Right.
and we learn what to do from the good ones, and we learn what not to do from the ones who are not so good.
Yep.
Brother Wolf,
Yes, sir.
you have a unique approach to all of this. Would you care to share?
Just what's on my mind right now?
Yes.
Oh, brother. So I grew up with my father was a Southern Baptist minister who was a converted Roman Catholic. And then I was in regular church ministry full-time and bivocational for about a decade. And I've seen some of the best things that the American church can do, and I've unfortunately seen far too much of the worst things that we do. And one of the worst things that we do is how we treat our pastors, because we expect them to be held up to a higher standard, and that is right. But that is right as in it's God's standard, not our standard. We've turned it into this exercise in how good can a pastor be at hiding their humanity? How good can our deacons be at hiding their humanity, at looking superhuman, at looking immortal like Jesus, trying to appear as sinless as we can? We've placed so much emphasis on trying to look righteous, trying to look right, that the church has then made itself ineffective because we've lost that ability to look at the person who comes in and say, you know what? I know exactly how you feel because I have been there. I will say this: at a Blessing of the Bikes a few weeks ago, I was talking to a gentleman who is a hitman. I asked him if he believed in Jesus. He said yes. I said, you believe he was the Son of God? He said yes. I said, you believe he died on a cross for your sins? He said yes. I said, you believe that you can accept that? He said, yeah. And I said, okay, what is it? He looked at me, he said, Jesus doesn't want me. He said, I got blood on my hands, and I ain't planning on stopping anytime soon. Jesus does not want me. And I looked at him, and if I had been in a typical situation with a typical church in ministry and said what I said next to him, it would have blown up in my face within a few weeks. I looked at him and I said, brother, I have not been in the exact same boat you're in, but if Jesus doesn't want you, then he wouldn't want me either.
Here's the thing. How many of us have murdered another person's character?
All.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All.
At some point in time or another, we've murdered another person's character, their reputation, their name, mocked them, made fun of them. No, it didn't bring about the physical death, but it's death nonetheless, and we're responsible for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good comparison.
The power of life and death being in the tongue. And I've had a similar but different situation where somebody told me that they're going to hell. And I said, why do you think that? And they allowed me what they had done. And I said, if that's your reason for you going to hell, I have no business talking to you about salvation, because I've done that. And what you've done once, I've done multiple times. The enemy does not want you to see your salvation, because if you see your salvation, you will strive for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. The enemy wants to keep us blinded in our sin. But ultimately, Jesus is the light. There's a reason why he's the light. Jesus could have been anything, but he's the light. Now, I've said this before. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not running from it either. I grew up in a house that had roaches. 7 years. I know everything roaches do. I know how they act. I know what they smell like. I can walk into a place and smell whether there's roaches there.
Yep,
Okay?
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And as soon as you turn the light on, they scatter. That's it. That's all you have to do is put the light on. They're gone. If you can walk through them in the dark and they'll crawl up your leg. But turn the light on, they are out of here.
Can you believe that there was a home I went into that was so infested, the light didn't bother them?
And that is the true nature of an unrepentant sinner.
Yep.
That's the true nature right there. When you realize
That is the nature of America and the world.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how
Yeah.
much you shine the light of the gospel, the truth of the gospel, there are some people who are going to continue in their way. They don't want to be delivered. They don't see a need for it. It's all a farce.
And this is why, and he must be loosed for he's going to be put up for 1,000 years, and this is why he must be loosed for a season. Because even after, and what people don't understand, the mercy of God is so intense. There is absolutely no excuse for anybody ending up in hell. None. Because after you've seen 1,000 years of perfection and righteousness and honesty, Satan is going to be allowed to come back, and you're still going to pray to him.
Mm-hmm.
And you're still going to be lost. So don't tell me that the one thing that you did, or the one thing, or the 7 things I did, don't tell me that is why you have to go to hell. And Brother Wolf, do you have an outcome on that particular situation?
Before we go to him, let me say this to you. Idolatry is not so much an action as much as it is a condition of your heart.
Yeah.
Okay? If you're going to be a worshiper of Satan, if you're going to be the worshiper of a celebrity, be it a preacher or an entertainer, doesn't matter who it is. If you're a worshiper of your child even, okay? It's not all of the actions, but it's how you feel about that thing. And there are those who feel like sin is the best thing in their life, and that's what we have to shine the light on and show the world that sin is what separates us from God.
Brother Wolf?
The outcome of that conversation. So, I said what I said. I said, if he doesn't want you, he doesn't want me. And he just looked at me and blinked. Because I'm wearing a T-shirt, I'm there with Nira in my church, and he said, what? And I said, he doesn't want you, he doesn't want me. He doesn't want the Hell's Angel that I led to him after he walked in on a male forcing himself on a teenage girl and accidentally put him in the ground with his bare hands. He wouldn't want him. He wouldn't want me. He wouldn't want Sam Childers, the machine gun preacher who runs the orphanages that save children in the Sudan and Uganda. If he did not want men capable of violence, then there are thousands of us that would be out of luck. And he did not make a final decision, but he has my phone number, and I already know that he's talked to a couple of other people that I know.
Yeah. You have done what you were supposed to do. You planted a seed. And incidentally, I've met Sam Childers. I've listened to him preach in person. The idea that we are perfect people has been used by Satan just exquisitely.
Yes.
It's masterful because not only are we perfect people, but we want perfection. Now, don't get me wrong. I realize I have issues when it comes to clutter. It took a lot of years for me to get there, but I realize I have issues when it comes to clutter. But ultimately, the clutter is not what's going to keep me out of heaven. And if I'm to be completely honest about it, I don't need to have the clutter, and you don't need to focus on it. Am I wrong, sir? I'm looking at Bishop. I'm not making this up. I'm very serious right now. It shouldn't be cluttered. It should be clean. It should be neat. It should be organized.
Yeah.
No question about it.
It should be.
But should you focus on it?
I've also heard someone say, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coming up in construction, there was always
there's always tools.
There's always tools
everywhere. Yeah.
But that was what was needed for the work.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't understand sound, doesn't understand that world, will walk into one of your storage units.
Yes.
And they will be like, oh my God.
They'll have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't understand what's there.
Yeah.
They don't get the need for it.
Yeah. I recently did a job where setting up, a few people came by and said, this is all these wires. This is clutter. Can you neaten this up? And I said, yes, I can certainly neaten this up, but I'd rather do what I'm paid to do, which is make sure everybody can hear.
Mm-hmm. See, we're so television oriented now. We see the pristine lights and the glitz and the glamour on the stage. They don't see what's going on behind the stage.
Yeah, or under the stage or around the stage. Yes.
It's called How the Sausage is Made.
Yeah. And the reality of it is, yes, I would love, and I did sound for a very famous DJ who came to a club, and after I got him set up, there was a gentleman who came in after everything was done, and his sole job is to tape and neaten, so when the DJ comes out, all he sees is his equipment.
Mm-hmm.
But he pays this guy
to do that.
To do that. When he comes out, his everything is set up perfectly and taped down, and it looks fantastic. But he pays somebody to do that because to him that's what's important, and he has the money to do it. Mm-hmm. I said, "What do you do?" He said, "I travel with this guy." "What's your job?" "What I'm doing now. My job is to neaten." He would come in here and he would neaten this thing, and it would look like, and that's what he gets paid to do. He gets room, he gets board, he gets travel. Wherever this guy goes, he gets on the plane with them. He's part of the entourage, and his entire job is to do that.
Yeah. That's a real job.
It's a real job.
That's a real job.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when it comes to the Christian ministry, who do we pay to do that? Who makes our life neat and proper and clean?
Here's the thing: there was a time in the history of the Hebrews where Moses was holding court every day, all day. Mm-hmm. Finally, his father-in-law comes to him and says, and this is paraphrased, "Boy, if you don't stop, it's gonna kill you."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to choose someone from among us who's full of wisdom, and these lesser things, let them handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We tend to take on too much.
The spiritual gift of delegation.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that never happens with me.
Of course it doesn't really.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Like last Friday, when I committed to doing something, was it last Friday or 2 Fridays ago? I committed to doing something and forgot completely about it. Mm-hmm. Just tired, went home, barely made it home, got home, got bed, I was asleep. This is like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I am out cold, and I get a phone call from the person saying, "How's it going?"
Here's what I've got here. I'm in the middle of purchasing another church. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking for a church.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, my wife and I were looking for a home.
Mm-hmm.
This past Sunday was Fifth Sunday. Normally we're in fellowship with several other churches.
Mm-hmm.
And we got up Sunday morning, and my wife looks at me. She says, "Are we going today?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
She said, "You sure?" I said, "No." I said, "We have a lot on our table."
Yeah.
Normally Sunday,
Yeah.
I'm in the house of God, period.
Yeah.
This past Sunday, I was like, no.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this because I told my church this several years ago. I said, if you're going to go to hell for missing a Sunday, you've been going all along.
Amen or ouch. Pick one.
Yeah. Yeah. If your relationship with God is based on being in that building every Sunday, and if you miss one, you're going to hell.
Mm-hmm.
You've been going all along.
Yeah.
It's not about the building. It's about your relationship with God. I'm saved enough. I love God enough. He loves me enough to know that life is worth living.
Yeah. No, the short week last week was necessary for me.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't hear from me a lot last week.
No, I didn't hear from you. I think we talked once.
Maybe once.
And that was enough.
Yeah, because I needed to rest.
Yeah, I didn't need to talk to you either.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't talk to me if I didn't have the radio show.
Well, I like talking to you.
I like talking to Nira. I like talking to the wolf.
Yeah.
I will talk to.
Yeah.
My brother from another mother.
Dan,
I'm telling
loves
Mom.
you. He loves you, Dan. He loves you.
He's better. I wish I could say I knew where the bodies were buried, but I really don't.
That's right. You don't. But trust me, they are buried. Yeah. They are buried. I've seen some things and I've done some stuff.
As have we all.
Exactly.
And let's go ahead and be honest with ourselves. Let's be honest with God, and let's be honest with the people of God and the people who God puts in our life to make an impact. I want to be with someone or be around someone who is human and saved.
Yeah.
Okay? Someone who is broken and saved.
Yeah.
Someone who struggles and yet is still saved. Okay? Because if you haven't gone through anything, if you haven't suffered anything, if you've never had to cry, how can you really have empathy for me while I'm going through?
Yeah. The answer is you can't. You're going to mumble some pious platitudes. You're going to say ultimately you're going to say the wrong thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't help